This may be the longest video I probably will make ever. I don't know. Maybe it won't be. I've got this 400. I'm going to use an epoxy primer on it. I'm not going to strip it down. It's got a real tight paint on it. I didn't pull the case off of it, off the crankcase off either, because I had some damage inside here from somebody hammering on it, and I didn't want to really risk taking that off, so I just taped that off. But some of these pieces are new, like that's new old stock, and this is almost like new, so I'm just gonna do an epoxy two-part epoxy primer on this, and then a red. So red and white. It's a two-color saw. I think the only thing white is the starter cover. Now Leon paints the white first. I believe that's what he does. And I don't. I paint the red first, and then I tape off this and take my razor knife and cut along that on the inside rim. Is that what I do? Yeah, I believe that's what I do. But you can do it either way. I just find it easier to tape the red instead of the white, I think. Now, I don't remember. A lot going on here. I've been fighting a hydraulic issue on my wheel horse. I had a bad swivel union was leaking. So I had to make a new swivel unit, and then they had to add an adapter to it. But with the adapter, it didn't have enough clearance for my pivot on the bracket on it. So I found one. That was a $50 mistake. And then I found a new old stock one, and went to put it on, and everything worked fine, except now it leaks out the other end because the one end should have a compression fitting, and it doesn't. So I'm going to have to look for an adapter or change the end. No big deal. I'm almost done. This will make my wheel horse complete. My new wheel horse completely fixed and adjusted. I've had some small issues on it, and I'm gonna go on to a story about this. Is that I've been into old garden tractors for, gosh, probably 20 years or more. I've got thousands of manuals on engines and transmissions and different tractors of every kind that you can imagine. So, and there used to be a lot of websites like GT Talk, and there still is some like Red Square and other ones. I can't even remember all of them, but now everything's gone to Facebook Marketplace, blah, blah, blah. And it's really hard, to get really some good information out there because mainly the guys that know anything are gone. They're just gone. I'll tell you what else is gone. This right here, Briggs & Stratton, they're gone. There's no more Briggs & Stratton, and there's not going to be any more gas engines. It's all going to electric. Just realize when you buy an electric lawnmower, if you're buying a Easy Go or one of these electric zero turns, in 2 years when you go to buy batteries, it's going to be $1,200 or $1,400 for batteries. And anybody that's done battery tools knows what a battery costs. Well, you can imagine what they are on a lawnmower, push mower, or riding mower. So get ready for that. I think it's a fallacy, mainly because the environmental cost of the batteries is probably no different than the environmental cost on the gas engines. Gas engines can run cleaner and better, but battery power is battery power. And if you have to dig up lithium and different things, to cobalt and whatever they have to do, then you're in trouble. But anyway, there's a rant on that. And while we're on that, I'll touch on data centers. Our country is going through a wave of everybody wants to build a data center in somebody else's backyard. Oh, we need these data centers. We got to keep up with China. Well, first of all, we have 8,000 data centers in the U.S. China has under 500. So tell me how we're having to keep up with China. And why doesn't China have 8,000? Because I'll tell you why. I don't know what the environmental cost of the data center is, but I will tell you that the minute we get everybody gets everything on cloud and everybody is onto these data centers, the Chinese will own all the information that's in the cloud and on the data centers. So I know that a lot of people worry about the water usage and the environmental impact, but I will tell you, once they get everybody streaming and their phones are on the cloud, it's the same as going to TikTok. Your information, every last bit of it, will be on that data center and will be available to other foreign countries and people who don't like us or don't like you or don't like me. So when you have people that say we got to stop it because of environmental reasons, that's not the only reason. So now then, another thing, weather changes. I don't think we change it. If you look back 1,000 years, you're going to find weather patterns where there was ice cold in the 1400s or whatever, really cold, no one was able to grow. And so weather changes. Here in Oklahoma, we're experiencing many, many years of high winds, high winds. I had a potted tomato in this planter right here, and I had it sitting on the other side of the shop. And I came home, and the tomato plant was in the yard. The wind blew, and it was just a small tomato plant, maybe 8 inches tall. The wind blew it out, roots and all. I had quit growing corn here years ago because no matter how much blockage I put, and I would block the fence on this fenced-in area all the way around, and the wind would circle around and rip the corn right out by the roots. Never have been able to grow corn here in the last 10 years because it just rips it out. Anyway, with the wind, an hour's worth of watering is over with, is useless, because in 4 hours at 10-mile-an-hour wind, all that water is gone. It's just sucked dry. I just went to do some rototilling a week ago, and today I went to rototill, and the dirt is hard as concrete. So I'm having it's a tough time. You have to adapt. My broccoli seems to be doing good. My cauliflower seems to be doing good. I've got some potatoes that are doing well. My beans aren't doing so well. But I think I have a pretty bad lack of nitrogen in here. So I added a bunch of nitrogen fertilizer in here. And I'm going to do the same thing on the yard. I've got enormous amounts of clover. I do not want to use poison to spray it, because we have a lot of pollinators that I need that pollinate different plants. So the clover is a result of a lack of nitrogen. So if I just sock it with some nitrogen, here in a year or so, I'll have grass, and I'll have less crabgrass and more grass. My Cherokee purples are doing pretty good. They're not, I just put some more nitrogen on them and some more water. You see there's curled up there, and these were just watered yesterday. I watered them today, but I think they had a lack of nitrogen. My cantaloupe are doing okay. I just went and rototilled and the cucumbers on the outside of that. And then I've got inside these little tires around here, I've got the Cherokee purples are the best, but they're the hardest tomato to grow. Inside these tires I have a beefsteak, a bush beefsteak, and they're doing pretty good. I'm gonna have to replant some watermelon. It's in this big tire here, and they're just horrible. I don't think that I'm gonna pull them up and start again. But no, my bush beefsteaks look like they're gonna do pretty good. I put some fertilizer on them and water, and I've had we had a real late freeze, hard freeze, 19 degrees, and so we're not going to get any pears or peaches or cherries. I just planted 2 cherry trees, so I got 2 cherry trees and 2 peaches, 2 pears, and my plum tree died, and I think it was just sitting down in a hole. We had 60 inches of rain and just killed the roots. So I'm going to put a load of dirt over here and put another plum tree in there, and then I'll probably buy a couple more peaches and maybe a couple apples, but I'm going to try to get at least 8 more fruit trees in here. My asparagus did exceptionally well this year. I'm hoping to get grapes, and after that, next year, I think I'm going to start planting some blueberries and blackberries as well. Radishes did okay, and we're still getting a bunch of those. It's just a kind of a tough thing, growing your own food and depending on stuff to put in the freezer for winter. We have a long growing season, so I can put stuff in the ground in September and October, so that's not an issue. But the quality of seed, the amount of wind, the amount of rain, all that is things that we have to consider, and things change. Probably farming and gardening is maybe one of the toughest things a person can ever do, because you just never know what's going to happen. 7 miles south of here, they got 3 inches of hail in 1 hour. About 50 miles west of here, the hail was so bad it tore roofs and tore windows out of vehicles, baseball size hail, and just kept coming, and nothing here. We didn't get anything, so we're fortunate, very fortunate. I've got my sprayer and I've got 1 bag of that 2000 nitrogen that's going to go on the inside the yard. I've been fighting this wheel horse on a couple little issues, and I haven't gotten a new pressure gauge, oil pressure gauge, but I'm eyeing one on eBay. But this hose right here has given me fits, and it's really leaking here. This is a new hose, and I found out why. Is the fitting right here is a compression style flared nut, but the end of this is flat, and it should be rounded to go into that flared nut. So I'm gonna have to, I've got plenty of room, so I'm gonna have them cut off this and put a flared point camper type fitting on this end, because it's leaking there. The old hose was leaking down here in the swivel joint. So it went from bad to worse. I had to make a whole nother hose right here, but it wouldn't fit until I put this adapter on. But when I put this adapter on here, I didn't have enough room to clear that bracket here. And I was even having a problem with that one until I adjusted the lower lift arms where it wouldn't go back as far. So I thought I was going to have to replace the cylinder or rebuild it, but it looks like I think my leak is actually right here where I have that yellow tape. I just put it back on. I'll take it off and have them put a new end on this end that'll fit into that flared nut, and I think I'll be good to go. But this is a wheel horse, 1775 wheel horse D 200, 20 horsepower cast iron Kohler twin cylinder. One of the probably best engines ever made for a lawn tractor. It's heavy, but you want heavy on the front end of these. I've jacked this up by putting trailer hubs, 4-bolt hubs, and 5 by 12-inch front tires, tri-ribs on here to get ground clearance. Don't think I'll get my mower ever back on here, but that's okay. I also went a little bit big on the back tires. I got about 4 inches more clearance, and this does have the rear PTO on it, but I also have the the tiller for the Kubota and the finish mower for the Kubota, and then I've got a rear plow for the wheel horse, and then I've got a single 3-point turning plow and a 3-point disc, double gang Brindley disc. Those are hard to come by, and I've got another set of turf tires for the Kubota. So I used to have a whole bunch of garden tractors, and this right here is about what I can handle and take care of right now. Just so much goes on with the garden and trying to pay bills on Social Security of $958 a month is what I get for a lifetime of work. I'm not complaining because I didn't work much. And but yeah, I'm gonna have to make a few adjustments on what I plant, when I plant, and how I water. I do have the well. The well is 100 feet deep. I hit water at 9 feet, so all I need to do is put the hose and the fittings on. I've got all the fittings here. I've got the hose here. I'll put 50 foot of this hose down there, and maybe 60, and I'll pump water out of the little well house, and I'll use that to water the fire out of anything I need to water out of. And if we need water, if we have a water issue, we can use it for there, because this is we're on a big aquifer here of good clean water. So I won't worry about a water bill once cost me a little bit in an electric pump motor, but I'm sure it's less than a water bill. Well, I think my water bill runs around $25 to $30 a month, which isn't bad, I guess, compared to other people's. But I want to get this 400. This is by the way, a Terry-built 400 that has the rubber hand grips, and it's probably the only XL series, XL12, X Super XL, that has rubber hand grips. I don't know any others that do. And it has the rubber handle on it, which is cushioned handle. So I'm pretty excited because I've been on a run of doing some Terry saws. So after this one, I might do a big XP saw next. But anyway, people that work on saws, people that work on garden tractors, people who collect saws and garden tractors, everything's changing. You're not going to have many 4-cycle engines anymore. Everything's going to electric. Everybody uses a phone. I use a computer. I don't use my phone much to get online, hardly at all to get online. I don't understand that. I'd rather sit in a 27-inch computer or do it to my TV. Well, because I don't see it all very well. So, and I don't do apps, and I don't do the cloud, and I don't do this and that and other thing. I mean, I could if I wanted to spend time learn how to do stupid stuff that people do on phones and have to learn how to do stuff. It's just not in my wheelhouse to do. I got so much other to do. So anyway, we'll get going from now. I've got to get back to see my doggies. I'm house dog sitting for a week for 2 small dogs of neighbors. They just take off and thought they could leave them in a crate in the garage and have me feed them up there, just leave them in a crate, but that wasn't going to work. So I took them, and they're here. I might not give them back. Oh yeah, I got to put a transmission mount in my van there. It won't be a big deal, but it never ends. Not for me, probably not for you.